12 months ago, I had a team, a writer, a researcher, a project manager, a voiceover artist, and someone to glue all of it together. Today, that chair is empty, not because the business failed, because five AI tools did their jobs better, faster, and for about $90 a month. Now, before you click off, I know how that sounds. I'm not here to tell you AI is magic or that it is going to take your job tomorrow. What I am going to show you is exactly what I replaced, how I replaced it, and what that actually looks like inside a real working system in 2026. Stick around because tool number 4 is the one nobody talks about, and it is probably the most powerful thing on this list. Here's the situation I was in. I run a content and research operation, YouTube channel, newsletter, client reports. Small but real. And the cost of keeping humans in every role was eating into everything. I wasn't unhappy with the people, but I kept asking myself, what am I actually paying for? And in most cases, the honest answer was execution, not creativity, not judgment, execution. So I ran an experiment. For 90 days, I replaced one role at a time with an AI tool. I tracked quality, speed, and cost. And at the end of it, I didn't go back. These are the 5 tools that stuck. I'll link everything in the description below. And yes, some of those links are affiliate links, which means if you sign up through them, it costs you nothing extra, but it does help this channel keep going. All right, let's get into it. Tool number 1, replace my writer, and honestly, went further than any writer I've worked with. It's Claude, made by Anthropic. Now, you've probably heard of ChatGPT. Claude is different in a few key ways that matter for actual work. First, the context window is enormous. I can paste an entire research document, a competitor's article, my own notes, and a rough outline, and ask Claude to synthesize all of it into a first draft. And it does, without losing the thread. Second, the writing doesn't sound like a robot trying to impress you. It sounds like a person who read everything and thought about it. Here's what my actual workflow looks like. I start with a brain dump. Everything I know about the topic, completely unstructured, maybe 300 words of mess. I paste that in and I tell Claude, turn this into a first draft for a 12-minute YouTube script. Conversational tone, no fluff. Make the hook surprising. What comes back isn't perfect, but it's a real draft in 3 minutes, not 3 days. I then go back and forth, tightening the hook, adjusting the tone, cutting anything that sounds generic. Think of it less like delegating to an assistant and more like thinking out loud with someone who's read everything. For any content operation, writing scripts, emails, reports, briefs, this is your foundation. Link in the description. There's a free tier to start. The second role I replaced was project management. And look, I know Notion AI sounds boring, but what it actually does inside a real workspace is not boring. The old version of my process, I would get off a call, scramble to write notes, turn those notes into tasks, assign deadlines, check what we were behind on, all manually, all fragmented. The new version, I speak my notes after a call. Notion AI converts them into structured action items, assigns them to the right projects, and flags anything that is overdue or blocked. There's also the content planning side. My entire 30-day content calendar lives in Notion. I ask it, based on what we have published this month, what content gaps exist? What topics have we not covered that our audience would expect? It reads the database. It tells me I am not manually auditing a spreadsheet anymore. The system surfaces that insight and I make the call. For any creator running more than one project at a time, this is the operational brain you did not know you needed. It is built into Notion's paid plan. Link below. Third tool, Perplexity. And this one I want to be specific about because AI search sounds like a gimmick until you understand what is actually happening under the hood. Regular Google gives you 10 blue links. You click each one, read, synthesize, click back, repeat. For deep research on an unfamiliar topic, that process takes hours. Perplexity reads the sources for you and gives you a cited summary. Every claim is linked back to a real source. You can see exactly where it is pulling from and verify anything that matters. Here's where it gets genuinely powerful. Perplexity has a feature called Focus, where you can limit searches to academic sources, news, Reddit, YouTube, whatever's most useful for your question. I use Reddit Focus constantly for audience research. What are real people actually saying about a topic? What questions are they asking? That is where video ideas come from. I used to pay a researcher to do this work, 3 to 4 hours per video, compiling sources, summarizing findings. Perplexity does the first pass in 10 minutes. I verify, I add judgment, I move on. The pro plan is $20 a month. The free tier is genuinely useful to start. Link below. Okay, tool 4. This is the one I told you to stick around for. ElevenLabs. And yes, I will be transparent with you. The voice you're hearing right now, this is an AI voiceover generated through ElevenLabs using a custom voice. Here's why this matters. I used to either record my own voiceovers, which meant setting up a quiet room, doing 5 takes, editing out the breaths, fixing the pacing, or I paid a voiceover artist per project. Now, I paste the script in, choose the voice, adjust the speed and tone with a slider. Download the file in about 45 seconds. The quality in 2026 is genuinely difficult to distinguish from a real human recording. Not in a scary way, in a useful way, especially for faceless content like this where the voice is the only anchor the viewer has. The killer feature is the cloning. If you want a consistent brand voice, you record 20 minutes of yourself speaking naturally, just a normal conversation, and ElevenLabs learns your voice. From then on, all your content sounds like you, even when you are not recording. For channels like this one, that is everything. Consistency, speed. No more reshoots because you stumbled over a word. Starter plan is $5 a month. Link below. The 5th tool is the one that makes everything else worth it. Make.com. And I want to explain this carefully because it is slightly more technical than the others, but the payoff is enormous. Make is an automation platform. Think of it as the connective tissue between every tool in your stack. Without Make, here's what a content workflow looks like. Claude writes the script. I copy it into Notion manually. I paste it into ElevenLabs. I download the audio. I upload it to CapCut. I share the link with myself. 30 individual steps, all done by hand. With Make, here's what it looks like. I approve the script in Notion, click a button, and the rest happens automatically. The automation I run most, when a script is marked approved in my Notion content calendar, Make sends it to ElevenLabs via API, downloads the generated audio, saves it to the right Google Drive folder, and pings me on my phone. That entire chain takes about 90 seconds with zero input from me. Make has a free tier for up to 1,000 operations a month. For a growing channel, the $9 plan covers most of what you need. This one has the steepest learning curve of the 5, but there are templates for almost every use case. Link below. Now, I promised you honesty, so here it is. These tools did not replace creativity, they replaced execution. Every script still needs a real idea. Every video still needs a point of view that makes someone want to keep watching. Every automation still needs someone who knows what problem they're trying to solve. What AI replaced was the part of the job that was repetitive, draining, and honestly, making the creative parts harder to get to. I'm not working less, I'm working on different things. Better things, I would argue. And the economics are real. The 5 tools I just walked you through cost me under $100 a month combined. What they replaced cost me a multiple of that in money and in time. Is this for everyone? No. If your work depends on deep human relationships, nuanced judgment calls, or physical presence, AI is not replacing that anytime soon. But if you run content, research, writing, or any kind of information-based operation, these 5 tools will change how you work. I'm confident enough to say that. If you want to build a system like this yourself, I have linked everything in the description below, including the exact make.com template I use for my content pipeline. You can copy it and be running in under an hour. If you found this useful, subscribe. I post every week on AI tools, workflows, and what is actually working versus what is hype. And if you have already tried any of these tools, drop a comment. Tell me what you are using them for. I read every single one. See you in the next one. Goodbye.